persuasive senior Bartleby Gaines of Wycliffe, Ohio's William McKinley High School plays practical jokes, including making phony identification documents. But his talents don't translate to academics, and every college he applies to, even those with high admission rates, rejects him with a letter. Bartleby establishes a fictitious university called the South Harmon Institute of Technology, SHIT, in order to win over his strict father. Darrell Hands Holloway, who lost his athletic scholarship after an injury, Glenn, an outsider with a low GPA and a SAT failure due to not signing his name, and Bartleby's best friend Sherman Schrader III, who has been accepted into his father's esteemed alma mater, Harmon College, assist Bartleby and fellow reject Rory Thayer. Bartleby persuades Sherman to give the college a working website in order to convey the impression that it is reputable. Bartleby rents an abandoned mental hospital next to Harmon College, which the group renovates to resemble a college campus, and hires Dr. Ben Lewis, Sherman's cynical uncle and a former philosophy professor at Harmon College, to play the dean when his father insists on seeing the dean. Their strategy backfires when hundreds of other rejected applicants are enrolled by the website, which accepts applications automatically. Despite his friends' protests, Bartleby gives them the impression that the school is genuine and that they would ultimately be welcomed out of pity. He is disenchanted with traditional college life after visiting Harmon, so he lets the students design their own curriculum. This includes subjects like psychokinesis and meditation, which one eccentric student wants to study, as well as more unconventional courses like culinary arts and sculpture. As the college develops, Bartleby makes the SHIT rag, the school newspaper, and the SHIT sandwiches, the mascot. Lewis draws enormous audiences with his frank lectures about life, but the students just hang out and party. In the meantime, Richard Van Horn, the egotistical and dishonest dean of Harmon College, intends to demolish dormant and abandoned campus buildings and build the Van Horn Gateway, a park-like promenade modeled after Yale and Harvard, in an effort to give Harmon a more distinguished appearance and boost the number of students who are turned away. Hoyt Ambrose, the president of Harmon's student body, is sent by him to clear the surrounding properties, but when Bartleby won't give up the South Harmon properties lease, Hoyt tries to expose the college as a fraud. Since Bartleby has been battling for Hoyt's ex-girlfriend Monica Moreland's affections since high school, the argument takes a personal turn. Through Sherman, who is trying to become a member of Hoyt's fraternity out of legacy but is continuously ridiculed and mistreated by them, Hoyt exposes South Harmon as a fraudulent organization. Sherman is devastated again by the fraternity, and they then force him to turn over all the data he has made for South Harmon. In conversation with Van Horn, Hoyt informs the parents of every student that the school is a fraud. Bartleby faces the possibility of doing time in prison for fraud shortly after the school is forced to close. But Sherman, who has already unearthed most of the dishonesty at Harmon College, applies for South Harmon's accreditation, providing Bartleby with an opportunity to legitimate his college. After giving a passionate speech at the State of Ohio Educational Accreditation hearing about the shortcomings of traditional education and the value of pursuing one's own passions in order to learn and grow personally, Bartleby persuades the board to grant his school a one-year probationary accreditation in order to test his new system and ensure that the institution is functional, thwarting Van Horn's schemes. Additional repairs are made, and when the institution reopens, additional students, including Sherman and Monica, enroll, and Bartleby's pals join the faculty. When Bartleby eventually wins his father's acceptance, he is happy to see that his son is now a college owner. As Van Horn enters the parking lot to get into his car, he witnesses an unexpected explosion. As the previous eccentric student turns his fascination in psychokinetic explosions into a reality, Bartleby looks on in shock.